Welcome back to another pregnancy vlog. I have been recording this series from around 5 weeks. If you're new here, please do subscribe and you can always backtrack, or you can always go to the week that you are on. This week will be from week 27 to week 29, as I am currently 29 weeks, 5 days pregnant, I believe. Let me check my app. Ovia is one of my favorite apps, by the way, guys. I also like Flow, because I was using that to track my cycles before falling pregnant. I am 29 weeks, 5 days, and the baby is the size of a Hawaiian pineapple. Guys, we are fully in the 3rd trimester. Like, this is wild. Firstly, you might note, I mean, guys, sorry, I do look a bit rough today. My skin, I've had a couple like spots come up. It's not looking great. I'm not sure if that's just because of the weather change or because I've been craving a lot more sweet stuff again. So maybe like because my sugar intake might have increased a bit. I'm not sure. I'm not too bothered about it. I just thought I would mention it. I really need to tint my eyebrows. So really I'm looking a bit of a state at the moment. But I did get my hair done today. So you will notice it is looking very, very black again. I wasn't sure whether I was going to dye it black again because if I'm honest with you, anyone who knows me, I get so bored of my hair. I change it all the time. It's just very out of character for me to have lasted being dark this long, especially dark, because I'm usually, like previous to being dark, a very blonde girl. Like blonde highlights, golden, ombre, you know, that's more my vibe. But I must admit, the black hair, firstly, I've dyed it like a blue black, so when you see it in the sun, it's really blue black, and I think it's super cool. Secondly, it's just so low maintenance. Previous to this, I used to get my hair done every 4 to 6, at most 8 weeks. So within a month to 2 months, I would always get my hair redone. And then the last time I've had my hair trimmed and dyed is like early December, so basically before I even knew I was pregnant. And that's how low maintenance black hair is. And to be honest, I've just been a little bit lazy with getting my hair done, and it really needed a good trim because it grew so much in pregnancy, super fast. And so it looks a little bit shorter now just because it's bounced up. And also, I don't know about you, but any curly haired girls, you know, like when you freshly get your hair cut, because they comb it all through, I just don't like the way my curls dry. And I might have a little bit of dye around my hairline. Anyway, this is not about my appearance. This is actually meant to be a pregnancy vlog, but I thought I would update you guys. So week 27. Week 27, I got a little bit nervous because I started feeling a little bit of my 1st trimester symptoms creep back in. Now, it's interesting because I never had this with my pregnancy with Elvis. And I've heard a lot of women say this, that they start to feel a bit sick again. Sometimes they can get their cravings back again. And that's just what I was feeling. I was getting the nausea creep back in. If I'm honest with you, this pregnancy is never fully gone. Like, there's been a lot of moments of it. Whereas I feel like, as I've mentioned previously, with Elvis's pregnancy, once the 1st trimester was over, once I hit 14 weeks or something, it was done, it went for good, and the only time it came back was in actual labour. So yeah, I was feeling a little bit of nausea. It was very much, I could manage it with food, a lot more food. Again, similar to my 1st trimester, it wasn't nowhere near as bad. I think it just gave me like the anxiety of like, oh God, is it coming back? I was also craving like the sweets again, like sweeties. Similar to my 1st trimester, very similar cravings again. So that was interesting. I was like, oh, like I felt a huge hormonal shift is what I think I'm trying to express. Like, I felt a big, yes, I'm coming into my 3rd trimester then. So that was the most significant thing that happened week 27. I was super tired again and needing naps, which I did finally get some energy in my 2nd trimester, like towards the end of it. So again, that felt like a bit of a setback. I was like, I'm only yawning today because I've walked. I've walked so much. I've walked over 8 kilometers today. So even though week 27, I was feeling super tired and needing a load of naps, I listened to my body. I didn't work out. I napped. I did what I had to do. And luckily the energy seems to have come back a little bit in like a nesting form, as you can see, because I've gone on a lovely long walk today. So week 28 was a really exciting week to me. I was so grateful that my energy was back because I had loads of work booked in, and I was able to do a maternity shoot. So for those of you that haven't seen, I actually filmed a little story behind the maternity shoot that I did, because it was for a brand and I was basically maternity modeling, which I just was so grateful to be able to do, because it was something that was actually on my list of like my vision board before I even fell pregnant, of something I wanted to do in my next pregnancy. And I feel like I really manifested it. So without going into too much detail, I did a whole vlog on it where I show you like behind the scenes. There isn't any images from the actual shoot, it's just all behind the scenes stuff, and a little bit of a story behind like why I wanted to do it and like how I manifested it, which I just think is so incredible as well. Because if you're watching this feeling pregnant, feeling like I can't do any career moves, or I can't like still make dreams happen or like pursue things, yes, you know, there's so many moments of pregnancy that feel so unmotivating and so tiring, and you're just surviving some days, but you will get moments of feeling good and you will get moments of motivation. And I just want to say, like, use them. If you feel you're able to use them, you can still do stuff for you, because trust me, when this baby comes, if you're a first time mum, those newborn days are just going to be like a haze. Like, you're not going to do anything for yourself. And I just think it's important, while you still feel able to just do things for yourself. And I think career and fulfilling goals and, you know, still doing things for you is super important. So yeah, so that was really exciting, and it was the hottest week. It was the hottest day of the year so far, and I really persisted, and I'm so grateful to baby and my body for allowing me to feel so good that day and like get on with it and crack on with it. And that whole week actually I was quite busy with work, so that was really good. And still kind of had days where I would have almost like an energy boost one day and get back into working out. Very light workouts now, by the way, guys. I'm using the Mother Fit website. So basically I've got membership to Mother Fit. I'll link it below in case you want to check it out. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I've kind of like posted them up and stuff, because I've had some gifting from them and I'm working with them. And honestly, their workouts are like week by week based on your pregnancy, and I'm finding them quite easy, but I'm also finding them like very attainable. No, that's not the right word. I'm finding them very achievable, because I'm like, it's not too much for me right now. And you can definitely make them harder or easier depending on just how you feel. And they've been really good. So that week, definitely when I had more energized days, I was like doing little workouts. I was like going on walks, or I was working really hard. But then I would have days where it's almost like back to that, oh my God, I can't do anything today. I feel super lazy. I feel really tired. I need a nap. So I was still having moments like up and down days, almost feeling like I was getting bursts of energy, but like definitely slowing down a lot more now. And that was week 28. But yeah, I really recommend Mother Fit. There's so much on there. It's like a platform. They have meditation, they have workouts, they have just so much for like mums prenatally and postnatally. So they've got postpartum workouts and stuff on there as well. Information from midwives. They've got so much on there. Definitely go on and check it out. But it's really working for me right now. I found that week 28, I've noted down that I wasn't having as much nausea. So it kind of like hasn't been as bad, but I'm so hungry. I don't remember being like this in Elvis's pregnancy. I remember the last month of pregnancy just being hungry, like, yeah, this baby's trying to get chunker, but I feel like this baby right now is trying to get chunky. Like, I've been eating the most wholesome, healthy, big meals, predominantly vegetarian or like plant-based, but then the snacks, like I want to have 2 ice creams a day. I want to have an ice lolly. I'm loving like anything that's like really icy, like a round tree ice lolly, you know, the colourful one. or like Fabs or Knobbly Bobblies, you know, like childhood ice creams. As good as I've been eating nutrition wise, like meals wise, I have been having so many of the bad snacks, the unhealthy snacks. And you know what, at this point in pregnancy, I'm not going to hold that against myself. As long as I'm getting the good nutrition and all the vegetables that I need, if I want to have the calories and the sugar and that's what my body's really demanding of me, then maybe this baby's just trying to get chunky. I don't know. But yeah, I've been hungry. And it's funny because I'm actually now I can really compare. I am way smaller than I was, than I am now, than I was with Elvis's pregnancy. And I'll come on to that a bit more in detail as well. But I don't know whether it's just like you get to the same... I think I'd find it funny if you just get to the same size at the end destination. But like some pregnancies you do it like all at the start, and some pregnancies like you just gain it at the end. I don't know how it works, but I'm really grateful that I'm actually not as big this time around, just because I know baby's a healthy size. Obviously we've had that scan and stuff, but it meant that I was able to maternity model and I don't look as maybe far along as I am, or I'm just kind of still quite a neat bump. And hopefully if I can get any more maternity modeling before the end of this month, that might be a good thing, that I'm not looking like I'm wanting to give birth. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just funny if you're watching this and you think I'm really big for my gestation, or you think I'm really small. Like, it just goes to show, don't compare it, because with Elvis's pregnancy I was a totally different size. It's just interesting. You just got to take it as it comes. Like, each pregnancy is so different. Okay, so week 29, I'm talking about food a lot, but food has become like, yeah, I'm hungry, but I'm making myself laugh because I'm obsessed with watching, like, you know, the TikToks and the reels of like them making the food, like healthy meals or like vegan meals or like snacks that you can make, or just the reels of food. It's like food porn to me. Like I'm obsessed with watching them. It's like I can almost taste it. Honestly, I'm making myself laugh. I actually had a midwife appointment week 29. And what was great is that when I remember when I went into my 3rd trimester with Elvis, that is when a lot of my levels started like being slightly depleted or slightly lower. Nothing too concerning, but I definitely remember they told me I had to take an iron supplement. My iron levels really dropped, and that is very normal at this stage in pregnancy if you're following along with me, because your body has just given so much to this baby and the growth rate really increases now. So a lot of people do drop in iron. And also I just think because my lifestyle was so different when I was pregnant with Elvis and I was eating so much meat and fish, and this pregnancy, if I felt like I need meat or fish, I have it, but predominantly I'm still vegetarian, and plant-based some days, and some days I'm having vegan days or vegetarian days. I have been very on it in the 2nd and 3rd trimester with very wholesome meals, like really getting a lot, but I've still kind of got that in the back of my head, like I hope that my body's still coping the same and that I'm getting all the nutrients I need from that food group, because I am obviously excluding certain food groups. And look, I have definitely requested more blood tests and just been a little bit more on it and said, can you check my iron, can you check this, can you check like my vitamin B and things like that, because I know that I'm more vegetarian this pregnancy. And I've been a lot more hot on it because I just want to make sure that I'm not depriving this baby of anything. And like, there's going to be so many people watching this that are plant-based or vegetarian and be like, no, you're absolutely fine and healthy to have a vegetarian or a vegan pregnancy. And obviously I'm more flexitarian, so I'm not completely cutting those food groups out, but I don't have them often at all. And I just think sometimes in pregnancy, when you do crave ice lollies or things like that, you can sometimes fill yourself up on non-nutritional foods instead of getting all of those wholesome meals. So I just think I've just been really mindful of it. It's probably a bit of pregnancy anxiety, like, oh, I hope that all my levels are good, and I hope that I'm not, you know, because of this lifestyle choice that I believe is healthier, but you just don't know, like your body does require a lot in pregnancy. So I've definitely asked for more blood tests. My bloods, I spoke to my midwife about this. on my like week 29 appointment, she was like, if anything, your bloods have been way more consistent this time round in comparison to Elvis's pregnancy. And actually in this third trimester drop that I had at the same time with Elvis, I haven't dropped. My levels are really good. And she was like, so please don't stress about it, because whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating, however you're ticking along, it's working. Like, you feel really healthy. You know, as I said, I'm not as swollen, I'm not as big, I'm feeling really good, and your bloods are really good. So whatever you're doing, just keep doing. So I think it's just a little message out there that if you are vegetarian or vegan or flexitarian like me, and you don't have a lot of these things that people say, you know, you're going to really need that, or, you know, you're going to get that auntie that's going to be like, oh, are you sure you don't need to have some meat? Like, are you sure that baby's getting enough calcium? You know, things like that. Just focus on trying to be as healthy and wholesome as possible. And you're not going to be able to do that all the time in pregnancy, because you're going through all these hormonal changes. But guess what? When I was eating meat and fish and getting a very well-balanced, what I thought was a very well-balanced diet, with Elvis's pregnancy, I still dropped in iron. So, you know, I think either way, what I'm trying to say is that you can be depleted at this stage in different vitamins and stuff. So try not to stress about it. Just make sure like your doctors and your midwives are doing all the checks that they need to be doing. So the second part of that midwife appointment, they obviously measured my bump again. Actually, I'm going to show you my bump while I remember to. I don't really want to show you too much of my underwear, so I'm trying to do this in a way that 29-week, 5-day bump. It's really interesting. So this baby lies a lot this way. I'm really hoping the baby goes head down soon, because firstly, lying this way is very uncomfortable for my sides. It feels like at times I'm like ripping out. So uncomfortable. But also when the baby goes head down, it's funny because like the other morning I woke up and my bump looked totally different. My bump looked narrower. You could see my sides. You could actually see like my sides, and then just a bump in the middle, and I knew the baby was head down, and I was like, oh, this feels more natural, like how the baby's meant to be. And also my whole bump looked a different shape. You can see my bump there looked quite like wide. And because of that, when I'm getting measured, because remember the last vlog, if you watched it, you will see that they basically said my bump was way too small. I just had the flu. I was like, don't worry about this. We had a scan, baby's average size, it's fine. But obviously my belly, if you see it now, it looks, to me, it looks very big. But when I lay back, if baby's like in this position, rather than being like head down and like the back and the bum kind of stick out, which makes your bump arch a bit more, when I'm laying back and baby's like laying across me, when they're measuring, it's a lot flatter. So I'm not even on the graph. But again, I wouldn't worry, because obviously now they've got a measurement to compare it to. My bump's going up with the graph, it's just not on the graph. But they're not worried about it now, because obviously I've had that scan and I've got another scan booked in at 32 weeks. And it's just a growth scan. I know a lot of people in the UK won't have them extra scans. That's just what they've decided to do with me. But yeah, it was just interesting that they're still saying my bump is really small. And I think it's the positioning of the baby. And I'm just keep telling this baby, like, go head down now. Firstly, that's where you're meant to be. We're coming into this third trimester now. And secondly, it's just way more comfortable for me. I mean, yes, you have the foot in the rib situation, but I'm used to that, like that side stretching thing. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up this vlog because I have really been chatting for a long time on here, and yeah, it's a little bit longer because I was trying to fill you in on like 3 weeks in one. But another thing, just to like update you on what I'm currently doing, I've literally just read a book that I would highly recommend you guys reading. Absolutely love it. It's called Manifest. I'm actually going to get the author's name up. Okay, so it's Manifest, 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life by Roxy Nafusi. Love this book. I'm almost finished it. This is what I've been currently reading, and I think it's been keeping me really positive and just feeling really upbeat. But I would highly recommend to anyone to read it, especially if you're into that sort of thing. And even if you're not, I feel like this book is not too deep spiritually. It's an easy read. It's quite a short book. It feels like a modern day explanation or guide to manifesting. It's not like something that's really outdated or really hard to keep up with. It's really simple. It's like your friend basically telling you, hun, this is where you could be going wrong. You could be blocking your blessings, and this is what you should be doing. And guess what? This is the science behind it, and this is how you can really improve your life. And you can apply it to any walk of life. Like, even if you're like manifesting having the birth or the labor of your dreams, if you're feeling a bit low in pregnancy and you just need some pick-me-ups to help you with your mindset, some tools to like really get you through, or even if you're like still trying to push those last minute career moves before you have this baby, like whatever you're trying to do, you can manifest it. And I highly recommend that book, and that's what I'm currently reading, and probably why I'm feeling so upbeat as well, because I do think that what you surround yourself with in your mind and in your environment really does impact you. So yeah, I hope you mamas are feeling really, really good, and I'm sending you lots of love. I will be back shortly with another pregnancy vlog, and comment below if there's any other videos that you want to see, because we are coming towards the end now. So yeah, so comment below what other videos you want me to make, and I will try and get as much content up on this channel before I have this baby, which is just it just feels like such a close thing now. It feels so real. If you're following along on the same week as me, like, girl, we having a baby soon. It's crazy. It's wild to me. 3rd trimester. Wow. So sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Mwah.